So now I open my little valve, and I just adjust you a little bit here. I don't know whether you can see it or not, but there's a little drizzle coming in. So anyway, that's going to flow. I'm not going to turn that on yet because my pan hasn't boiled. But the idea is once the pan starts to boil, you adjust the flow here, this little drip, to refill the pan about as much as what's boiling off. Quite a science to that, let me tell you. But anyhow, $180. So right now in this pan I've got 8 liters of sap, and I keep track of how much sap I put in the pan, because once I get up to say 40 liters, which is my ideal target, then I monitor what's in the pan until I get to like 1 1/4, between 1 1/4 and 2 liters, and then what I'll do is I'll transfer that sap into a finishing pan and finish it in the syrup then. But that's a long ways away, but anyway, that's what I do. That's why I have to measure, or would like to measure, or want to know how much sap I have in the pan at all times, because it's important, because I'm only going to be using 40 liters of sap. I know then that I should have about a liter left. It could be a little more, it could be a little less, depending on the sugar content. But so if I start with 40 liters and I end up with a liter in my finishing pan, I'm getting close to where syrup should be, and then I just go by eye. I have a specific gravity meter that I used to use to try to determine if my sap is ready, but it was hard to fill my little tube for checking. Here's my tube. I'd fill this with sap or syrup, put my hydrometer in it to measure if I had syrup or not, and it was hard to fill this up. It's only plastic. I think it even leaks a little, and it was just hard to do because there's so little left in my pan that I just decided I wasn't going to do that. I'm just going to go by the old-fashioned method of I measure the temperature. If I'm using Fahrenheit, the sap becomes syrup when it's about 7.2 degrees above boiling point of water in Fahrenheit. So Fahrenheit, the water around here boils, I have it marked here, the water boils at 212, so we're pretty close to sea level here, so 212 Fahrenheit. So when I get around 219 or so, I should be getting close to where I have syrup. But then what I do is I go by the look and the feel of it to determine if I really do have, if it's ready to be called syrup. You don't want it too runny, you don't want it too thick, so it's kind of tricky that way. And it's the way, like if you put a spoon in and pull it out, if it sheets off the spoon nice, you know, all those little old tricks that the old people used to use, and I'm pretty old, so I use those tricks too. I see we're starting to get a little boil going here, so let me just check the temp. It's showing 197. Yeah, 197. So, and that's about right because it's not water. It's almost water, but it's not water. So it should boil a little bit less. So that's good. She's boiling nice. My vapor's coming off, going out the chute. So that's the way she goes. So we do this for about another 8 or 9 hours. And then it gets kind of hairy as I go to the finishing pan. When you're doing it in the finishing pan, you have to be at it all the time. So, but the way it is right now, you know, I can go away and putter in the shop now and don't have to pay attention to this because I'll burn about, I don't know, 2 liters in an hour. So, or no, about 4 liters an hour, I think. So that's a gallon an hour, approximately. Or that's what it was in other years. We'll see this year, depending how my burner's going. My burner isn't working real great just yet. It's got hot spots in it, but anyway, that may come. We'll just show you the boil. So she's got a nice rolling boil now. With a wood-fired evaporator, you could pile the old wood to where make it a real super hot fire, and it would boil like crazy. But with propane you can only get so much heat, and that's about as hot as I can make it, so that's where I go. Okay, so we'll be back, folks. So I just want to show you, this is what I always like to see. Vapor coming out of the stack at the Sugar Shack. That's the Sure Sunlane that we're making maple syrup. The Sugar Shack and vapor. Alright, so we've been boiling now for about an hour. And on my measuring stick, I'm down to this mark. Right there, so that says I've got 4 liters left in the pan. I think I'd mentioned 2 liters before, but it's 4 liters. So I like to keep between 4 and 8 liters in my pan. So now it's time to start my, I'm going to just turn this up a little bit here so you can see. Right about like that. So I have to start my feed here, my little drip feed, from what I call my pre-warming pan. But it's not really. So what we do is we just crack that open for a little bit of a drizzle to come out. And I don't know if you can see that or not. Right there. But just drizzling in. Even that's a little bit too fast, I think. Yeah, I don't know if that's even too fast. So something like that. I don't know how well you can see that. But anyway, there she goes. I'll let her drip about like that. Maybe if I show you this, you can see it a little bit better. There's the end of the tube right there. Right up there. And it's just dribbling a little bit. It could even go a little faster than that, maybe. Hard to get her set just right where I think it's good, but anyways, we'll let her go. Oh, that's too much. Right about like that. We'll let it run like that, and I'll measure it again and see what's going on. Temperature is just about 200. So when we're boiling the sap, we get a white foam comes on top of the sap. That's just a byproduct of the boiling. So I have a little strainer here, stainless steel strainer. So I just, every now and then I go through it and pick out that foam. And then I just dump it out the door. I don't know if it hurts to leave the foam in the pan, but I take it out. I don't think it hurts to take it out, so I do. I do that every once in a while, and I don't know, just makes me feel better, I guess, that it's not there. So we still have our drip feed going, and we have about 4 liters in the bottom of the pan. And we've been boiling pretty good now for a couple hours. We're still at 198. That's about where it'll stay all the while it's boiling. I started with 8 liters in the pan. I've got 4 liters in the pan now. And I had 8 liters in my little preheater pot. And the preheater pot now is down to 4 liters. So 4 liters out of that, plus 4 liters out of that. So I boiled off 8 liters in 2 hours. So 4 liters an hour, that's about what I do. So 4 liters an hour, and I've got 40 liters to boil to end up with 1 liter, so that's 10 hours. So this is like a gentleman's way of making maple syrup. I'm having troubles with my burner. I don't know a whole lot about this, but I'm guessing that I'm not getting a good efficient burn. So I'm going to have to take emergency procedures, and we're going to shut her all down